Let's talk Pittsburgh Steelers. OTAs, of course, are now in a full swing. And I think the question on everyone's mind when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers is the quarterback position. We've talked a lot about Russell Wilson, but the forgotten man, or at least forgotten in a lot of people's minds in this equation, is Justin Fields. And this is a guy who's coming in with a lot of competitive energy, a lot of competitive fire. He actually recently was interviewed after OTA, and he had this to say. It was really, really good, insightful. Let's pull up this tweet from Mike DeFabo. DeFabo tweeted, Justin Fields says he's definitely competing. Russ knows that. We're competing against each other every day. I definitely don't have the mindset of me just sitting all year. All right, this is Justin Fields sending a massive message to Russell Wilson and to the Pittsburgh Steelers that he's not there to hold a clipboard. He's not there to be like a gadget guy, right? A Taysom Hill kind of player. He's competing. He's coming for number one. And this is why you bring in a guy like Justin Fields. He has the talent. He has a competitive desire. We followed him a lot in Chicago. This is a guy who had all the mental makeup to be a franchise quarterback, along with the physical tool set. Things just didn't work out at Chicago for a number of reasons. But he's coming here with an attitude. And Russell Wilson's been off to a great start. That's undeniable. We've talked about that. But I think Fields is sending a message here. He's ready to compete. And he's not coming just to push Russell Wilson, just to be a good backup. He's coming for the number one spot. And Steelers fans, you guys should be really excited about this. And Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are. But first, Pittsburgh fans, in the comment section below, talking about new additions to the team. Let's talk about rookies here for a second. Obviously got the great tackle in the first round. We've talked about him a lot. But outside of the first round pick, which Steelers rookie do you think will have the biggest impact this upcoming season? There's a lot of interesting choices. Give us your choice. Which Steelers rookie, not their first round pick, will have a big impact this year? And put it in the comment section below. But Miles, give me your thoughts on these latest comments from Justin Fields and just everything going on with the quarterback position right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, Nate, I think you love to hear this if you're a Steelers fan because you bring in Russell Wilson. Obviously, in your mind, he's penciled in immediately as the day one starter. He's the current face of the franchise. But when you eventually bring in a guy like Justin Fields, I think Steelers fans think, and I think the Steelers think, this is our long-term option. This is the guy that we bring in, and it's a little bit of a gamble, but we're putting an investment into him to potentially be our lottery ticket, to be the guy that we develop, to be the guy that, becomes the face of the franchise. I think Russell Wilson day one is the face of the franchise, but Justin Fields could become the face of the franchise very easily if he develops the way that they are expecting him to. And I think when you have a guy like that and he comes in and he's like, hey, I know people think this. I know that everyone is Russell Wilson's de facto day one starter, but I'm not here for that. I'm here because I want to start. I would love to be the day one starter. I'm not just going to sit all year and, sit on my hands, watch Russell Wilson. Any opportunity I have, I'm going to come in and try to take over and prove that I can do what I have shown that I can do more consistently. Because the fact of the matter is, Justin Fields has showed us tons of glimpses. He's never put it all together consistently, but he's shown us all of the glimpses. He's shown us he's an incredible, one of the best, I would say, if you're being realistic, the second best runner of the football in the NFL behind Lamar Jackson at the quarterback position. He's very dynamic as a rusher. He's a very good runner of the football. He has moments where he has very nice passing, plays. He can throw the football very well, but there's inconsistency there. And I think that there's just too far apart, and he really needs to tighten that up before he can start to develop into a face of a franchise. But I love that he's just always thinking, hey, I'm the guy, no matter what, I'm going to try to show you that I should be out on that field. And I think when you bring in a guy number two like that, that's what you want to hear from. And I love that from Justin Fields so far.
And what's very interesting is that, and there's reports that came out today as well, talking about that Justin Fields is where he wanted to be in terms of leaving the Bears. He wanted to come to the Steelers. According to Brooke Pryor of ESPN, he said, shout out to Poles, his former GM. We communicated to him through my agent, and I told him where I wanted to be, and this, Pittsburgh, was the place I wanted to be. So he honored that, and I appreciate him for that, and glad he was able to put me in a spot where I wanted to be at. So we're talking about Justin Fields is a guy who wanted to come to the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. which makes sense. I mean, you can have a lot of criticisms of Tomlin and sometimes of the Steelers ownership, but in terms of organizational strength, historically, they're one of the best, if not the best organization in football. The Bears, love the Chicago Bears to death, of course, long storied history as well. For the past decade and a half or so, organizational strength is just something they have lacked in Chicago. Could that be why Justin Fields struggled? Right? We talk about all the time. Every quarterback needs to have a strong organization around him. It doesn't matter how talented you are. If you don't have the great structure, you're not going to succeed. Is it possible Justin Fields recognized that and says, hey, Pittsburgh, you've got that great organization, that great structure. I want to go there and compete because I think in this new environment, in this culture, I can be the guy. I can actually show you guys what I'm made of. And I think there's a chance for that. And I think if Justin Fields can become even 80, 90% of what we thought he could be coming out of Ohio State a couple of years ago, he's a franchise quarterback. He is a superstar in the making. Like, I know we talk about Russell Wilson, and I think Russell Wilson has a great chance here in Pittsburgh. I think he'll end up being the starter, at least early on through training camp and preseason, maybe the regular season. But there is a little bit of potential magic brewing in Pittsburgh here where if Justin Fields can kind of beat him out and earn some playing time and get better and better in this offense, this new Arthur Smith offense, which is perfectly suited for a guy like Fields, by the way, there's a really strong chance that come crunch time late in the season, Justin Fields could be the starting quarterback. And we're not talking about crunch time in 2024 only. He could be the long-term guy for the Pittsburgh. He could finally be the replacement to Ben Roethlisberger more than Kenny Pickett or Mason Rudolph could ever do. I'm excited if I'm a Pittsburgh fan hearing news like this. You've got a feisty guy, you got an athletic guy, you got a guy ready to compete. He is where he wants to be. This quarterback position in Pittsburgh is in a really strong situation. It's going to shake out obviously one of two ways, but I tell you what, Steelers fans, you're a lot better at quarterback. This is the best I've seen this quarterback room since the days of Ben Roethlisberger being healthy, and you got to feel good about that.